With the great success of NFL RedZone, the National Hockey League decided to establish its own whip-around show. But does the Frozen Frenzy work? What impact does it have on NHL viewership? And most importantly, do fans really enjoy it? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Victoria and I talk all things hockey from across the pond in Scotland. For today's video, we're talking about the Frozen Frenzy, the NHL's attempt at replicating what the NFL RedZone has become. It's definitely got a lot of fans talking, and I thought I could share my thoughts on the pros, the cons, and how it could possibly be made better in future years. So just in case anyone doesn't know, Frozen Frenzy features all 32 NHL teams playing with staggered start times across the night. This is usually 15 or 30 minutes in between when the games start. It's modelled off of the NFL's RedZone, which broadcasts on Sundays during the NFL season from 1 PM until 8 PM Eastern Time. RedZone promises commercial-free coverage, and it also promises to show every single touchdown from every single game. It's really become an international phenomenon among American football and NFL fans. It's loved by people from the US and Canada, people in the United Kingdom, Germany and beyond. So it's unsurprising that with this success, other major leagues will want to replicate what the NFL RedZone has been able to achieve. And so the NHL has come up with Frozen Frenzy. Frozen Frenzy first started last season, but the NHL just had its first one of this year on October 22nd. 16 games simultaneously covered. It seems like a hockey fan's dream, right? And there are many good things about this concept. I think it is fantastic in many ways. For starters, I feel like it's a great introduction for new hockey fans. I think that could be an amazing way for people to learn the sport of hockey by getting to see, I guess, the most fun and exciting elements of every game, as well as exposing you to the whole league all in one watchable period, which is something that I think could be really beneficial for people who are maybe trying to get into the sport, learn about the NHL, learn about the league, and find out more about every single team. The NHL seems to really want to grow the game, and so having something like this for new viewers could be really beneficial in helping them to understand the game and also get a grasp on what all the different teams are like. Equally so, I think that this is a great concept for people who maybe aren't dedicated to cheering for one team. NHL fans vary. Some of us have one team that we are very dedicated to. Some others have multiple teams that they like to follow and keep up with, and other fans who are more just general hockey fans love the sport but might not have a dedicated NHL team. And this is a great way for them to be able to consume hockey without needing to dedicate so much time into one specific game or flicking between random games trying to watch as much as they can. This offers them the opportunity to be able to watch the most exciting elements all wrapped up in one show. It's also just always really good to see new initiatives in the league. The National Football League is absolute peak sports marketing. They are so good at it. They absolutely dominate the sports market, both at home and internationally. It's really quite a feat what the NFL does. They have managed to draw in fans from across the globe into a sport that decades ago was nowhere near as popular outside of the US as it is now. Their viewership numbers are great. They have massive fan bases. They have amazing global series games. I really think that out of the major leagues, the NFL does it best, and there's really no argument about that. So it does make sense that the NHL would want to model some of their strategy from the NFL. There's a lot that the other major leagues can learn from the NFL, and so it is always good to take ideas from something which is tried and tested. At the end of the day, from a business perspective, the only way that the major sports leagues take place is by putting out a great product which draws in great sponsorship and a lot of revenue, which is generated by the fans. So ultimately, bringing in those fans is still at the core what you need to be aiming to do. And so I think the NHL is really trying to replicate what the NFL has been able to achieve. And even if the actual finished product isn't quite perfect yet, I do think it's good that they are trying out new things and bringing in new techniques to try and draw viewers in, and also give existing fans a different experience of the game. Lastly, it's just fun. I saw a lot of people on Twitter sort of discussing what was good about Frozen Frenzy, and a lot of people just think it's really fun. A lot of people just want to see the very exciting, fun elements of hockey. They want to see the power plays, they want to see the close games, and this is the perfect way for fans to do that. It is a whole new way for fans to experience hockey. The quick whip around style of show is just really enjoyable for a lot of fans to watch, and at the end of the day, if fans are enjoying it and it's fun, that's really what it's all about. However, I do contend that although it's a great concept and a really good idea, it's sort of poorly executed still a little bit in the NHL. And so on to the bad. It's not really bad, that's a little harsh, but the things that I don't think are so great about it. For starters, hockey is not American football. The sports are extremely different, and so trying to kind of replicate the success of the NFL in this area might just not be feasible for hockey because the sports are so fundamentally contrasting. This format really works for the NFL because the nature of the game allows for it. There's a lot of pauses in play, and it's beneficial for fans to be able to flick between the exciting parts of the games. Hockey is a fast-paced, free-flowing sport which I kind of feel needs full attention to watch in order to actually capture the essence of what hockey is about. I feel like there's the risk of people missing out on the depth and the beauty of the actual game of hockey itself and of all the things the NHL has to offer because they're only seeing these tiny snippets of power plays, which does not sum up the way that hockey works. I guess it's just hard to know whether or not this would grow a game given that you're only showing, you know, power plays or close games, which isn't just your normal even strength hockey, which is what hockey fundamentally is about. And as someone who found hockey, I was about to say later in life, but I mean I was 16 when I started watching hockey. Obviously from a non-traditional hockey market. I am not Canadian, in case you haven't noticed. But I fell in love with the game in its entirety. I don't know if it would have had the same effect for me personally if I'd just been seeing sort of, I guess, the intense areas of it. I think the true beauty of hockey is in those more mundane, even strength shifts where nothing seems to really happen, but there's still a lot happening because it's just so fast. I fell in love with the game that way, and if this is the NHL's attempt to grow the game, this may work for a lot of fans, but fans perhaps who were more like me when I started watching might not be captivated by it in the same way. Another issue which I've seen many people talking about is the fact that it's not available in Canada. RedZone's success is partially due to the international availability of it and the fact that across the globe it is watched every Sunday of the regular season. To only have it on ESPN focused on the American market is a very small target audience. I feel like it could be enjoyed by so many more people if they were to expand it. And from a marketing point of view, as I said, I feel like this could really draw new fans in. So making it internationally available to non-traditional hockey markets would be far more likely to grow the game than just focusing it on somewhere where it already has a very solid fan base, in my opinion. And I'm sure that there are logistical reasons behind the fact that it's not available in Canada or internationally, etc. I don't doubt that, but I think that would be a really good way to utilise Frozen Frenzy and ensure that it actually does draw in new fans and as many people as possible can enjoy it. I know that Canada does have that new show, the NHL Coast to Coast, on Prime on Thursday nights, but still, I know that's a whip around show, but Frozen Frenzy is specifically all 32 teams, and it's a shame that there are so many markets missing out on that. And overall, is this really growing the game? It really doesn't show hockey in its wholeness. I feel like the main benefiters of whip around shows are generally people who are maybe into their fantasy teams, which I am, but I like watching games in its fullness, or those who like to put bets on sports. I mean, I don't doubt that that's a wonderful opportunity for people who really enjoy sports gambling and betting. I think that's a fantastic thing for them, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best way they could be growing the game. I think there's other strategies which could be more effective, if that is what the NHL's goal is with this. So a few ways that they could make Frozen Frenzy better as they keep improving it. Of course, it is a really new idea and it's in its very early stages, and so I don't doubt that over time they will keep improving it. The first thing and the main thing is the timing and the scheduling of Frozen Frenzy. Having it on a random Tuesday night probably isn't the best, but especially when it's NBA opening night. Like, I just don't understand why that decision was made out of all of the possible dates they could have picked to have all NHL teams playing, why they picked NBA opening night, and why it's even on a weekday in the first place. It should really be on a weekend, and I know that part of the problem is the fact that, of course, the weekends are really kind of taken over by college football and by the NFL on Sundays. But would it not maybe be better then to not do Frozen Frenzies until more towards the end of the season? I mean, the Super Bowl happens in February, which gives you the rest of the month of February and then the March and the April in order to showcase the teams this way. I think more people would be invested in it, and I think it would be far more interesting to have it on a weekend, and specifically have it on a weekend. My dog is about to walk right in this shot. There we go. Sorry everybody, but Dawson wanted to come say hi, I guess. Did you want to come say hi? Sorry for the Dawson interlude there. It'd be great if it could take place across more of a day as well, like maybe a Saturday for like a solid 8 hours and you have it staggered out that way instead, rather than cramming it into just one night on a weekday. As I said before, I think it should be available internationally. I think if you want to grow the game through it, allowing fans that won't really see a lot of hockey is definitely more impactful than just targeting it at a market that already loves and knows hockey very well. And I also read, now of course, as I said, I haven't watched Frozen Frenzy because I can't. I literally can't. So I was reading this off of other fans' perspectives, people who were watching it, and I came across this Reddit thread which was really interesting, which is, the title is "Frozen Frenzy is a terrific idea executed absolutely terribly." And they go on to discuss the fact that they feel like sometimes they're still focusing on what the panelists are saying or the interviews that are going on when there's game coverage which should be being highlighted at that moment. Scott Hansen of the NFL RedZone has this absolutely perfected and the coverage is great. So I think the NHL maybe needs to tighten up how its panel works. Maybe just having one person rather than a panel is a better way to approach this perhaps. But I definitely saw in this thread a lot of fans agreeing with this element, and so that needs to be something clearly that the NHL maybe needs to improve in future Frozen Frenzies. So there are my thoughts. There are all the good things, the bad things, and a few areas which maybe the NHL could improve on in its Frozen Frenzy coverage. Comment down below, let me know what's your thoughts on Frozen Frenzy. Do you like it? Do you hate it? How do you think it could be made better? If it's not available to you currently, would you watch it if it was? Leave a comment down below, I love to hear your thoughts. As always, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more hockey content and also like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more hockey chats from across the pond. Bye guys.
You what I meant and how I felt. Honestly, I'm used to throwing wishes in a well. My conscience tells me that I could have helped without fail. Actions speak louder than words, and that's a lesson that I learned all by myself. Let her know, I gotta let her know that she my white horse, she my medical. She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything.